Wait a second. Something doesn't feel quite right. Ah. Oh my god, what is this? Chuck Berry signature guitar. So thanks to Gibson for loaning me this ES355 Chuck Berry signature guitar. It's a gorgeous guitar. It's a Murphy's Lab. It's absolutely stunning, and I think it's a great homage to one of the most iconic rock and roll riffs ever written. It's not forbidden in any guitar store. It's a riff loved by young and old. And it definitely teaches you a thing or two about the blues. Ingredients we see all the time, from blue notes to Mixolydian and from syncopation to double stops. It's all in there, and of course I'm talking about the riff Johnny B. Good, written by Chuck Berry, but of course inspired by Marty McFly.
Right, this is an oldie.
So when this riff starts, it immediately grabs your ear. I'm visualizing everything over this chord, a B-flat 7th. This is the context, and knowing that gives all the notes you play a meaning. For example, the anacrusis or pickup bar, which is just these 3 notes. Let's have a listen. You hear it? But did you hear that first grace note? No? Let's do it again, slowly. Ah. And that is the blues right there. This is the first ingredient that makes this riff amazing. A blue note. What's happening? So, I'm sorry, I'm here to just explain a few things. Is that okay for you? Sure, but make it quick. Yeah, I will. So, a blue note can be a pretty ambiguous thing, but practically in major keys like this, B-flat major, it's either the minor third like this, or the flat 5. So these notes carry a lot of spice, and it's what makes the blues sound like the blues. And blue notes love to be treated either microtonally, like bending it a little bit sharp so it falls just in between of 2 notes. Or we can play it as a grace note, which is just a small decorative note just in front of the next one, like this. And that's what happens in this song. It's very cool. So yeah, so we slide from that blue note into the major third of the B-flat 7 chord. Like this. And that is instant blues, right? Followed by these 2 notes. And all of these notes fall in the major blues scale so far. Fret 6 and 8 on the B string. And then we play the B-flat, the root note. So this is almost every blues song's intro, right? That's just very cool. So next up. Yeah, so the next ingredient we're gonna talk about is double stops. Yeah, so a double stop is a weird and unlogical term for 2 notes played together, like this. It comes from stringed instruments where fretting the notes also means stopping the string. We're doing that. So if you do it with 2 strings together, well, that's a double stop. But contradictory to the term, it can just as well be open strings. So that means that this is just double stops. It makes no sense, but let's just continue. So, yeah, so these double stops are playing the 5th and the root of the chord, but we slide into them from a semitone below. You see, we're grabbing that blue note again, fret 5 on the B string. We slide it up to the 5th. That's a grace note as well, by the way, fret 5. And rhythmically it's very fun too, because we're playing 3 groups of 3 notes played as 8th notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an interesting pattern. So after that little thing, we use a scale that's very often used in the blues. And I think we can call it the next ingredient, and I'm afraid to say it, Mixolydian. No! Back at it with some good old explanation time. So the Mixolydian scale is the scale that falls beautifully over a 7th chord. And the only difference between it and the major scale is the 7th note. We lower it by a semitone so it becomes a flat 7. And the flat 7 is exactly the note we add to a major chord to make it a dominant 7th chord. So yeah, that's pretty logical and easy, right? A great scale for soloing over the blues. Yeah, it's great. That's probably why Chuck Berry uses it. We walk down via the Mixolydian scale, starting on the root, so fret 6 on that high E string, and just 4 notes down. That's it, just 4 notes. And we walk right into another blue note, back into the major notes. Right? Not a grace note this time, just minor to major. Blue note to a note from Mixolydian. We've seen that before, right? And this leads into 2 times the root note. So Mixolydian and blue notes, they really go hand in hand. So together it sounds like this. That's just it. So next up are the double stops. Again, so he plays a B flat power chord inverted. So fret 8 and 8 on the A and D string. You can hear some accents in there. The same rhythmic accents as we did in the... But now on the B flat power chord. And after that build up, there's a transition link that follows the B flat major blues scale perfectly. And it goes like this. Again, starting on that blue note, by the way. Played as a grace note. But that's a bit too easy and too neat. Listen to how Berry plays it. You hear he doubles the melody. So he keeps that G string underneath when he plays fret 6 and 8 on the B string. So he slides into fret 7 on the G. Then he plays fret 6 and 8 on the B string, whilst keeping that middle finger fretted. And indeed, one could say that these are again double stops. And then you slide that middle finger down to fret 5, 3, and 5 on the D string. And then if you wish, you can play fret 3 on the D string. I don't hear it in the recording, but I think it makes sense to play it. Right, so now there's a very iconic lick. I guess this is the most iconic lick in this intro. And it uses another ingredient we like to call... Oops, sorry for that. I guess he was trying to say syncopation, which is a nice rhythmic trick where you try to place the notes not on the beats, which is super expected and boring, like this. But you try to place the notes a little bit in between of the beats, like this. Right, it really livens up the beat and makes it so much more interesting and people want to dance. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Syncopation. So this part heavily leans on the 5th of the scale, the F. Which is also the note he sings, by the way. It's that note. He really highlights the F. He loves it. He loves the F. Who doesn't? Anyway, syncopation. So this is the bendy bit, and I guess we all know it. We play the 5th, but we start on the E flat actually, fret 8 on the G string, and we bend that note up a whole tone towards that F. So you bend it up, and then you stop it because this is really played staccato. And then you play another F. So staccato means the notes are not tied together, they are separated by a little break in between. And you can do it with the right hand or your picking hand, just muting the strings, or your left hand, just laying your hands on the string. I talk about this extensively in my guitar course, Next Level Playing, if you want to know more about it, by the way. Links are below to that. So and that in combination with that syncopated rhythm again, it sort of gives you a hopping, dancey feel, right, like this. But if you want to like really get close to what he plays on the recording. The first time round he plays an accent on the third time he plays that high note. And then the second time round we play the same pattern and then he does the accent on the last high note. Sweet, so we're coming along nicely, aren't we? So the last run is mostly Mixolydian in combination with the blue note again. And it starts with the bend again. And then it walks down from the tonic 4 notes down, just following the Mixolydian scale. And then we start up from the 9th or the 2nd scale degree, fret 8 on the high E string. And now we play down 6 notes. So it sounds like this. Bend. And then there's that classic blue note, grace note thing again, from the minor third to the major third. And now here's a little cool rake or mini sweep. And it sounds like this. And you simply do that by dragging your pick over the strings and doing a roll with the index finger along with it. So you keep time. So. So listen to how he plays it. It's pretty cool, right? Sounds nice. So then we walk down via the Mixolydian scale again. 4 notes. And then last up, there is a bendy bit again, exactly the same as we did before, but now it's not played in a syncopated rhythm, just 8 notes. So it's all bending towards the F, the E flat, fret 8 on the G string. And then a very short double stop again, sort of highlighting the 4 chord, the E flat, 8 and 8 on the G and the B string. And then again, the grace note from the blue note to the major third, ending on the tonic, fret 8 on the D string. Let me play it one time slowly. So and if you now think, wow, that is amazing, wait till you check out my guitar course, Next Level Playing, where there's a whole lot more where this came from. So apart from all the cool rhythm guitar that's in there, we're also discussing lead guitar quite extensively, learning all about scales from pentatonic to harmonic minor, and of course the modes from Dorian to Mixolydian, how to use them, when to use them, how to improvise with them, and so much more. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to check out nextlevelplaying.com. Links are below, and just thank you. Thanks to Gibson for loaning me this beauty, this gorgeous wine red ES355 Chuck Berry signature. It's a Murphy's Lab, so all the little worn places are recreated into crazy detail. It's just wonderful. Anyway, if you feel inspired, please play this song and tag me on Instagram at Paul Davids Guitar. Use the hashtags Johnny Be Good, of course, hashtag Paul Davids, so I'm sure I see all the covers. And yeah, I wish you a lovely day and see you next week in another video. Goodbye.